By the end of this scene, you'll be able to use Claude Code's plan mode to break down big features into manageable tasks. Let's dive in. First things first. Have you ever felt overwhelmed when starting a large feature? Maybe it feels like a mountain too big to climb. Well, today we're going to make that climb a lot easier with the power of Claude Code's plan mode. So let's imagine you have a new feature request, adding user authentication to your app. This is typically a complex task involving multiple steps, such as setting up a database, writing backend APIs for login and registration, integrating front-end forms, and more. That's a lot to handle at once. Here's where plan mode comes in handy. It helps us break down this big project into small, actionable tasks. We'll use the power of Claude to generate these steps for us. First, open your terminal or command prompt and start a new session with Claude Code by typing bash claudecode session. This will launch a new session where we can interact with Claude Code. Next, let's initiate plan mode. Type the following in the Claude Code interface. Text: plan a user authentication feature for my app. Claude will generate a list of tasks based on your request. These are like breadcrumbs guiding you through each step. Here's what the output might look like. 1. Set up database to store user information. 2. Create backend API endpoints for login and registration. 3. Design front-end forms for login and registration. 4. Integrate authentication with user actions in the app. 5. Test each component of the feature. Now that we have our list, let's review it quickly. Setting up the database is crucial first. API endpoints will need to handle secure communication. User interface forms are essential for a smooth user experience. Integration ensures everything works together seamlessly. Testing covers all bases. Now that you have a clear list, start with the first task and build each part step by step. This makes the big mountain of work feel more like a series of smaller steps. By using Claude Code's plan mode, you can tackle large projects without feeling overwhelmed. The next time you face a daunting feature request, remember this method to keep your development process organized and efficient. By the end of this, you'll be able to create a new Claude Code project with plan mode enabled. First, you need to install the Claude Code extension if you haven't already. You can do this by searching for Claude Code in your preferred package manager or by downloading it directly from the Anthropic website. Once installed, open a new terminal and run Claude in it to create a new project. This will prompt you to choose a project name and select the programming language you want to use. For this example, let's use My Big Feature as the project name and Python as the language. After initializing the project, navigate into the project directory by running cd My Big Feature. Now, enable plan mode by running claude config set plan_mode true. This will allow you to create a high-level outline of your feature before writing any code. To verify that plan mode is enabled, run claude config get plan_mode. This should output true. With plan mode enabled, you can start creating your feature outline using claude.md files. You'll learn how to do this in the next step. For now, try running Claude in it and setting up your own project with plan mode enabled. All right, you've got Claude Code set up, so now let's dive into creating our plan for that big feature we're working on. This is crucial because it helps us break the project down into manageable chunks and ensures nothing gets missed. First, open up a terminal or command prompt in your project directory where you want to create this plan. Make sure it's clean and ready for action. If not, run clear _big_ feature to make a new folder if needed. Next, initialize Claude Code with the command bash claudia init. This sets up all necessary files and configurations in your project directory. Now let's create our plan file. In most projects, you'll see a plan.md file. Open it up for editing with the command bash codeplan.md. If you don't have a code editor set in your environment, you can just use any text editor like Nano or Vim. For simplicity, I'm assuming you're using an integrated development environment, IDE, like Visual Studio Code. Code is its command line alias. Open the plan.md file and start defining your feature's key components. Here's a basic structure to follow. Markdown. Briefly describe what this big feature does. List high-level goals or objectives. For example, improve user login experience, Enhance data handling performance. Esta login interface redesign. 2. Backend API improvements. 3. Database schema changes. For each component, list out the tasks required to implement it. Esta login interface. Create new layout files for login page. Style the form elements using CSS. 2. Backend API enhancements. Add validation checks to API endpoints. Improve response handling with error messages. 3. Database schema changes. Update user tables to include additional fields. Write SQL scripts for data migrations. Review your plan.md file to ensure all key components and tasks are well defined. Then save the file with Ctrl+S or Command+S. By now, you have a clear plan of action for your big feature. This will guide you through development and keep you on track. Now that you've created a detailed plan in plan.md, it's time to start implementing these tasks one by one. Open the first task in Code or your preferred editor, and let's start coding. By the end of this, you'll be able to turn your big feature plan into smaller, manageable tasks. You've got a solid plan in Claude Code. Now it's time to break it down. Open your claude.md file and navigate to the plan you created earlier. Look for the sections that outline the key components of your feature. These will become your tasks. To create a task, you'll use that task tag in Claude Code. For example, if you're building a login system, one task might be a task create login form. This will turn the text into a clickable task that you can track. Now, prioritize these tasks using #priority. You can set a priority level from 1 to 5, with 1 being the highest. So for your login system, the create login form task might be #priority 1. Claude Code will automatically sort your tasks by priority, making it easy to focus on the most important ones first. You can also use dependencies to link tasks that rely on each other. This ensures you're working on the right tasks in the right order. With your tasks prioritized and linked, you're ready to start building your feature. Take a look at your tasks and identify the one with the highest priority. Next, try creating a new task in your claude.md file and prioritize it using #priority. See how Claude Code sorts your tasks and get ready to start building. By the end of this, you'll be able to review and refine your plan in Claude Code, making sure everything is in place before you start building. You've broken down your big feature into smaller tasks. Now it's time to take a step back and review your plan. Open up your claude.md file and take a look at the tasks you've outlined. Check if they align with your overall goal and make sure you haven't missed anything crucial. Claude Code's plan mode is designed to help you stay organized, so use it to your advantage. Review each task and ask yourself if it's necessary, if it can be done in a reasonable amount of time, and if it's dependent on other tasks. Make any necessary adjustments to your plan, and don't be afraid to move tasks around or remove them if they're not essential. As you refine your plan, you'll get a clear understanding of what needs to be done and in what order. This is where Claude Code's plan mode really shines, helping you stay focused on your goals and avoid unnecessary work. With a solid plan in place, you'll be ready to start building your feature with confidence. Now, go ahead and review your plan, make any necessary adjustments, and get ready to start building. Vocabulary: refine, organized, dependent, essential. By now, you've got a solid plan for that big feature you're working on with Claude Code. You've reviewed it, refined it, and you feel confident about where to start. The next step is to put your plan into action. Open up your terminal or command prompt. Make sure you have the latest version of ClaudeCode installed on your machine. If not, run pip install ClaudeCode to get the latest updates. Now, we're going to execute your plan. In your project directory, use this command. Claudia execute. This will kick off the first task in your plan and start building out that feature bit by bit. Watch Claude Code at work, watching as it automates the initial setup, generates boilerplate code, and sets up all the necessary infrastructure. Take a moment to appreciate how Claude Code helps you stay organized and focused. It's like having a dedicated assistant who knows exactly what needs to be done next based on your plan. As you watch Claude Code start working its magic, remember, this is just the beginning. Each task will build upon the last, creating a solid foundation for your feature. Feel free to pause and tweak any specifics as needed. That's part of the process. By the end, Not only will you have built out the initial parts of your feature, but you'll also be well on your way to understanding how Claude Code can streamline and enhance your development workflow. So go ahead and hit Claudia Plan, execute in your terminal. See what happens next, and see how Claude Code helps turn your plans into reality.